Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vibrantly Healthy Mom Show. I am so glad that you have joined me today. So here's the thing. Sometimes these lives go on when you're not available, but that's okay. You can just pick up and watch it later because this is here for you. So whether you are here live or you're watching the recording, please let me know you're here. I would love to know that you've stopped by and listened. Just give me a thumbs up or a heart, or better yet, comment below and let me know, where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. My name is Laura Bostrom, and if you have not joined me here before for my show, just to give you a little background on myself, I am a mom of 6 grown sons. And yes, I did say 6 sons. Probably the biggest comment I get from people when I tell them that is they say, "Oh, bless you." I think they imagine me just going absolutely crazy, chasing after boys like all of the time that they were growing up. They are wonderful boys, and it was wonderful raising them. But yes, there were trying times, mostly because of the fact that I struggled back then with a lot of chronic health issues. And so because of that, I have a heart to help other moms who are struggling as well, trying to keep up with all of the demands that you have on your life. And whether you're dealing with chronic health issues or you're just not feeling your best for whatever reason, I am here to help you with tips and tricks and things that I have learned from my health journey and my being a mom of raising my 6 boys. So today, what I would like to talk to you about in this episode, and I really like to keep these episodes fairly short because I know y'all are very busy and don't have a lot of time to sit here and watch a video, right? We have things to do, and so I want to respect that. So let's get right to the point for today. So think about habits. That's what we're going to talk about today. And there's good habits and there's bad habits, right? I'm sure all of you could identify very quickly some bad habits that you feel like that you have developed and you wish you could change them, but that's easier said than done, right? Totally easier said than done. We can dream about those good habits that we want to pick up, but how in the world do you go about changing them? Well, we're gonna save a conversation more developed like that for another day. But for today, let's just talk about what you can do to begin creating change here. So the number one thing to do, especially when we're at the beginning of a brand new year, is to reflect back on the year that we've just had. Now, 2020 had some very interesting things that have just continued on to 2021, but I'm not talking about those kinds of things. I'm talking about you and talking about how it is when you reflect back on it, how did you feel and what would you like to change about yourself? And don't try to do a bunch of stuff all at the same time, because if we sat down with a piece of paper and a pen, we could probably make a huge long list of all the different things we'd like to change about ourselves. But if we're really going to make change, it's better to focus on one thing at a time. So I'd like you to first of all reflect back on this last year and think, what is that one thing I would like to change about myself? And then once you come up with that one thing, then realize, hey, we are in a new year. And here's the thing, in the new year, we're in the winter months where most people are living in places where they are inside more than outside doing things with other people. And especially now with all of the different restrictions that there are with the pandemic that we are in, a lot of people are just home anyway. And so it's a really great time to work on something yourself, something that you want to change about yourself. So take advantage of the fact that, yes, number one, it's winter months and it's cold outside and there's not a lot to go outside and do anyway. So start working on something yourself, right within your own home on yourself. So you've come up with that one thing that you'd like to change. And now have that mindset that it's a new year and you are ready to begin with something new. You're going to turn over a new leaf and begin to change that bad habit maybe that you have into a good habit, something that's going to benefit your health, something that's going to make you feel better. So Once you determine what that one thing is that you're going to change, the best thing to do next is to determine why it is that you want to change that. And once you dive down deep to figure out why it is you want to change it, I promise you it'll be so much easier for you actually to go about changing it. Because if we don't know why we're doing something, it makes it really hard to stay motivated and keep doing the things that we need to do to make that change. So for example, let's say you're somebody that is like, just you're dehydrated. You don't drink enough water. I that was a problem of mine for many years. I didn't have good drinking water, and so I just simply didn't drink water. So if you're that person that knows you need to drink more water, but you don't really know why it is that you want to do that, then when you go to, you walk through the kitchen where you see your glass of water sitting, you're not going to be as motivated to pick that up and drink it if you don't know why it is you really want to start developing that habit in the first place. So I encourage you to understand why that is. And it's going to be different for every single thing that you're going to pick to work on. So you might, as you work through the different things that you're wanting to change in your life, every single one of them will have something a little bit different as to why that is. And I encourage you to dig down deep, because sometimes we can look on the surface and answer that question for ourselves as to why we want to develop a new habit. And just at a quick glance, we can come up with a reason, but then I encourage you to ask yourself why again. So for example, you want to, let's say I want to exercise more, okay? Let's say that was what you wanted to do. Why? Why do you want to exercise more? Well, you might say, because I want to be more fit. Well, why do you want to be more fit? And then you answer that question. And I encourage you to just go as deep as you can until you get down to what you feel is that deepest level of why it is you want to do that. So again, number one, reflect on the last year and figure out the one thing you want to change about yourself. Two, you want to realize that, hey, this is a new year. This is a great time to begin a new habit and change something and turn over a new leaf. So go ahead and determine you're going to do that. And then three would be to come up with why it is you want to do that. And then the fourth thing, of course, by all means, what you have to do is you have to make a plan. Nobody ever made any change in their life without having a plan and then implementing it. So you have to do that. So come up with whatever that plan's going to be. So back on the whole subject of water, if you know that you want to drink more water, well, you need to make a plan. You need to know, first of all, how much water you want to drink per day. How much should you drink per day? You need to determine, okay, how am I going to make sure I get that amount of water in me? How am I going to make sure I get that water in me if I'm out running errands or away for the day? So you have to come up with a plan so that you can implement it and then have that habit develop. And then you need to stick with it. You need to stick with it. I think it's like 21 days that it's been proven that it takes at least for a person to develop a new habit of repeatedly, day in and day out, doing that same thing in order for that to become a habit for you. So, I really encourage you to take a few moments today and figure out what that one thing is that you can change, because we can become so overwhelmed by the number of things that we are discouraged about with ourselves that we're feeling like, just like, gosh, I have so much that I'm doing wrong in my life. I have so many things that I'm not doing to help myself to be healthier and take care of myself so I can be a mom that's there to take care of my kids like I need to be. But if you're just thinking about all those things and they're just all falling into your mind all the time, but you're not doing anything about it, you're not going to be seeing the change. And if you're trying to tackle all of those things, the multitude of things all at once, it's going to be so hard to do that. So like I said, focus on one thing and one thing only at a time. And then once you get that under control, you get that developed into a habit, then you can move on to the next thing. But you want to make one thing become a habit first. So that's it for today. I am so glad that you have joined me here, and I look forward to being with you here again next week, same time, same place, and we will continue on our talk together. So have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.